So first question is, if 3y minus 4 is equal to 5, then what is the value of 2y plus 3? Now in this particular question, first we have to find what is y. So from the given equation, 3y minus 4 is equal to 5. Y will be equal to minus 4 this side, so 9 divided by 3, that will be 3. So y is equal to 3. Right? Now substitute this value y is equal to 3 in the given expression. That will give you 2 into 3 plus 3, that is 9. Therefore, option E is correct. Now at Yummy Potato Chip Company, now the minimum bags are 250. Okay, always 250 to 80, 280, but minimum is 250. Now if a customer purchases 7 bags of chips, so minimum number will be 250 into 7. Although there is another figure which is 280, but that's on the higher side. And the question which he is asking is what is the minimum number? And therefore, this is equal to 1750. So the option B is correct. Now, the next question is that Alex walks 5 feet due north, and there are actually 5 persons: Alex, Bud, Chaz, Dory and Eddie. Now as far as Alex is concerned, he is walking 5 feet due north. So let's draw the figure. So he is walking 5 feet due north, 5 feet this side, and turns and walks 3 feet due west. So 3 this side, right? 3 this side. Beth walks 7 feet due south, so that's 7 feet this side. Chaz walks 7 feet due east, 7 feet this side, 7, and then turns and walks 4 feet due north, so 4 this side. Dory walks 6 feet due east, so Dory walks 6 feet due east. Now, if you see that Dory walks only 6 feet, so let's not take Dory as such, because it's already, just by inspection, one can say that is less than Chaz. Then Eddie walks 8 feet due north. So 8 feet due north means this side, 8 feet. Now again, because it's 8 feet, and therefore we can reject this Beth also straight away. Just by inspection, one can see that this is less than 8. So we have already rejected Beth and Dory just by inspection. Now let's find out what are the other distances. So let's see this distance. By using Pythagoras theorem, we can find this length, and also by using Pythagoras theorem, we can find this length. So what will be this length? This length will be square root of 49 plus 16. 7 square plus 16. That will give you 65. Right? And then similarly here it will be 25 plus 9, root 34. Let's reject this one. So root 65 is what? Is greater than 8. It will be greater than 8 point something. And therefore this length, that is Chaz, who walks 7 feet this side towards east, and then 4 feet towards north. So that's correct answer, because it's a square root of 65, which is greater than 8, and therefore option C is correct. Now here is a question where you have a graph, and the question he is asking is which 2 days of the week did the temperature increase by the greatest amount? Now you see here the temperature is reducing, so there is no question of these 3 days. Here it started increasing, okay, but and here also it's increasing. Now as you can see by the gradient that this is the sharpest. You can see that here this is the sharpest rise in the temperature, and that's actually from Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday to Thursday is the sharpest. Okay, so option C is correct. Option C is correct answer. average of 5 numbers is 30. So let's take 5 numbers as x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. And the average of these 5 numbers is given as 30. These numbers are integers. So the sum of these integers will be equal to 150. Sum is equal to 150. Now, average of 3 integers is 40. So let's take, first 3 numbers as integers as x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3. Let's say that is equal to 40. And therefore, sum of these 3 numbers is 120. Sum of these 3 numbers is 120. And therefore, remaining 2 numbers, that is x4 and x5, total sum will be 150 minus 120, that is 30. So, x4 plus x5 is equal to 150, that is this sum of all the 5 numbers divided by sum of all the 5 numbers, and then sum of all the 3 numbers is 120. So if you subtract, that will give you 30. And the average of these 2 numbers will be x4 plus x5 by 2, and this is going to divide by 2. So this is equal to 15. That's option number B. So option B is the answer. In the figure, you can see that OX they have given as equal to XY. OX is equal to XY. And the area of the square is 9. So when area of the square is 9, that means if each side is X, then X square is equal to 9. That gives me X as 3. X as 3. Now if X is equal to 3, that means X is equal to 3. So what will be OX? OX will be in fact 3 by 2. OX will be 3 by 2. Right? Now OX is 3 by 2. Then OX and XY are equal. So this is also 3 by 2. Alright. So what is the radius of the circle? Radius of the circle will become 3. And radius of the circle is 3 means the area of the circle will be pi into r square, which is equal to, so area will be equal to 9 pi. Area will be equal to 9 pi. And shaded region means 9 pi minus 9. So because we have to subtract the area of square, which was 9. So 9 pi minus 9, that means B is the option. B is the option. Now, next question is x plus y is equal to 0 and z is less than 0. Which of the following must be true? Now, x plus y into z minus 2 is equal to 0. And z is less than 0. So, what should be your what should be the restriction on x and y? Now, as you can see that z is less than 0, so z can't be 2, and therefore x plus y has to be 0. If 2 factors are multiplied with each other, then 1 has to be 0. This can't be 0 because z is less than 0, so x plus y is equal to 0. X plus y is equal to 0 gives me x is equal to negative y. And that is option C. Now, there are 80 jelly beans in a bag. 1/4 are red, 1/5 are green. So 1/4 are red means 20 are red. 1/5 are green. So 1/5 means 16 are green. And 20 are black. So 20 are black. So what is the total of these 3? This is 56. Okay. So 14 are basically yellow. 14 are yellow. So remaining are yellow. That means 14 are yellow. What fraction of the jelly beans is yellow? So 14 by 80 is a fraction of the jelly bean which is yellow. So if you cancel it, it will give you 7 by 40 or sorry, this is 24. So 24 by 80. 24 by 80 means this is 3 and this is 10. So it gives you 3 by 10, which is option C. Here you just look at it. There are total 80 jelly beans and 20 are red, 16 are green, 20 are black. So remaining 24 are yellow, right? And 24 are yellow means your total fraction will be 24 divided by 80, which gives you 3 by 10, and that's option C. Now what is the value of x? 5 raised to the power x plus 2. Now what we can write is that it is 5 raised to the power x into 5 square. Reason is that if you have powers a plus b, that is if you have something like x raised to the power a plus b, then this will be equal to x raised to the power a into x raised to the power b. Using this identity, I can write down 5 to the power x plus 2 as 5 to the power x into 5 square. Again, using the same logic, we can write it as 125 raised to the power x into 125 raised to the power minus 2. Now this will be equal to 25 into 5 raised to the power x. Right? Now what is 125? This is again 5 raised to the power 3. And therefore this will be 5 raised to the power 3x divided by 125 square. I can take this 125 raised to minus 2 in the denominator. If you cross multiply it, so this will become 25 into 125 whole square, which gives me 5 raised to the power 3x upon 5 raised to the power x. Now this is what? This is 5 square, this is 5 to the power 6. So this gives me 5 raised to the power square 2 and 6, that is 8, is equal to 5 raised to the power 2x. And therefore 2x is equal to 8. When 2x is equal to 8, then x will become 4. And the option E is correct. Now here you have to form the equation actually. If 1/3 of a number, so let's suppose the number is x. Now 1/3 of that number, so let's say x upon 3 is equal to 10 less than 1/2 of that number. So it's equal to 10 less than 1/2 of this number. That means it's equal to x upon 2 minus 10. X upon 2 minus 10. What is that number? So we have to find x actually. Started with the x and then we have formed this particular equation by taking x upon 3 to be equal to x upon 2 minus 10. So this gives me x upon 2 minus x upon 3 is equal to 10. Okay. So let's take LCM, and this gives me 3x minus 2x is equal to 10. Okay, so that's x divided by 6 is 10, and x is equal to, after cross multiplying, it will give me x equal to 60. X equal to 60 means option D is correct. In this figure, ABCD is a rectangle. This ABCD is rectangle, and the side AB is x and side AD is x plus 2. AB is a diameter, again CD is a diameter of the series. What is the perimeter of the entire figure? Now, in order to find this perimeter, that means we want that's a circumference of these two circles, which is actually 2 pi r1. Then circumference of this circle that gives me 2 pi r1 plus 2 pi r2, and plus perimeter of this rectangle, right? Perimeter of the rectangle. So perimeter of the rectangle will become x plus 2, 2 times x plus 2. Now 2 pi r1, for this particular circle, r1 is actually x by 2. So it will be 2 pi into x divided by 2 plus, again this is also x, so this will give me 2 pi into x by 2 plus, so that's 2x plus 2, so 4x plus 4. And if you cancel this 2 by this 2, this 2 by this 2, I get 2 pi x plus 4x plus 4. Two pi x plus 4x plus 4. Okay. Now, now area of this rectangle is 48. Okay. So we have to substitute the value of x here. This is our perimeter of entire figure. Now only thing is substitute x. In order to find x, area of the rectangle is 48. This gives me x into x plus 2 is equal to 48. So that is x square plus 2x minus 48 is equal to 0. And that is x square plus 6x minus 4 minus 8x minus 6x minus 48 is 0. 8x minus 6x, that's splitting the middle term. So x into x plus 8 minus 6 into x plus 8 is 0. So if you factorize this, it will be actually x minus 6 into x plus 8 is 0. And therefore x is equal to 6 or x equal to negative 8. X equal to negative 8 is not possible because lengths are always positive. So x equal to 6 is the only option. Substitute this value x equal to 6 here, and that is, if you substitute x equal to 6, that is 12 pi plus 28. 12 pi plus 28. No, 12 pi plus 28. This is actually 6 and 8. This is 8, 6. Okay, so 12 pi plus 28. However, this portion you need not take it. Okay, so let's subtract 6 plus 6, 12, and that gives me 12 pi plus 16. So we have taken this circle. There's a perimeter, there's a circumference. This circle also circumference, BC and AD, and total will be actually 12 pi plus 16, and that's not correct. Okay. What is the perimeter of the entire figure including the rectangle and two semicircles? So two semicircles means basically is asking this plus this. Oh, so that is no, this is wrong. In the figure ABCD is saying the area 48. So if area is 48, so this side will be 8 and this will be 6, and therefore the radius of each of this circle is 3, and so we have to find this one actually. That gives me 18, 8 plus 10, 8 plus 8, 16 plus this region plus this region. So that is 6 pi. So actually you have to find this perimeter of this portion only, this, not the portion which is on this side. So that will be 8, this is also 8, 16, and this will be, in fact, if the radius is 3, then this portion will be 3 pi, and this also 3 pi. So 3 pi plus 8 plus 8, that gives me 6 pi plus 16, which is D actually, Okay, f is a linear function such that fx is equal to 4, fa is equal to 4, and fb is equal to 10. So fa is given as 4, fb is equal to 10. If f2 is equal to 6, f of 2a is equal to 6. Now you have to find the value of a upon b. Now f is 4, fb is 10, f is a linear function. So if f is 4, fb is 10, then what will be my linear function, that is fx is equal to, let's say, ax plus b. That's a linear function. Okay, capital Ax plus b. Now fa is 4. So 4 is equal to 4x, 4a plus b, 4a plus b. fb is 10. So if f is a linear function, so that f a is equal to 4 and fb is equal to 10. If f of 2 is equal to 6, what is the value of a upon b? Now linear function means this graph of the function should be a straight line. It has to be a straight line. Now f is given as a linear, f is 4, fb is 10, f of 2 is 6. What is the value of a upon b? As I said, that fa will be let's say ma plus capital B. fb will be equal to mb plus capital B. So f2a will be equal to 2ma plus b, and this one is equal to 4, this is equal to 10, and this is equal to 6. Now with the help of these three equations we have to find what is A, B and M. What is A, B and M? So these are three equations, and from first one and third, we can always find, if I subtract first from third, I'll get MA is equal to 2. That's my first equation. Substitute MA is equal to 2. So if MA is equal to 2, B will be equal to 2. B will be equal to 2. If I substitute MA as 2, B will be 2. Now B is 2, so MB will be equal to 8. So MB is 8 from second, MA is 2, MA is equal to 2. If I divide these two, A upon B will be equal to 2 upon 8, which is equal to 1 upon 4. Here we have used the fact that f is a linear function. So f is a linear function means fx is of the form, let's say mx plus b. And therefore, while finding fa, fb, f2a, we have used the fact that fx is a linear function. So fa will be ma plus b, fb will be mb plus b, f2a will be 2ma plus b, and the values are given are 4, 10 and 6. Taking first and third, get the value of ma, substitute ma in any of the equations first or third, find out b. While finding b, substitute in the second and get mb also. So once we get ma and mb, divide these two and get the required result, that is a upon b, which is 1 upon 4, and option B is correct. Now this is a sequence 2 minus 4, 8 minus 16 and so on and so forth. What is the ratio of the 19th term of the sequence to the 22nd term? As you can see, it's an AP with first term as 2 and the it's not AP, first term is 2 and the common ratio is equal to minus 2. Okay, now in this particular GP, that is geometric progression, your first term is 2 and the common ratio is negative 2. What is the ratio of the 19th term? Now what will be the 19th term as per the GP? So this is actually by formula AR to the power n minus 1, that gives you AR to the power 18. And what about the 22nd term? That will be AR to the power n minus 1 again. So AR to the power 21. Now you can cancel A with A, and this gives you 1 upon R cube. 1 upon R cube. Now 1 upon R cube means you substitute R as negative 2. So this will be 1 upon negative 2 whole cube, and that's negative 1 by 8. So in this particular GP, A is given as 2, R is negative 2. It's a GP, not AP, because it's a common ratio. Okay. Now what is AP? AP means if you take the differences, then that should be same. Now minus 4 and 2 difference is minus 6, but 8 and minus 4 difference is 12. So it can't be AP. If you divide terms, minus 4 upon 2, minus 2, 8 upon minus 4, minus 2, minus 16 upon 8, minus 2. So it's confirmed that this is GP. And that's how you find the 19th term. In general, nth term of an GP will be A into R to the power n minus 1. We have used this formula to find these two expressions. And then when cancelling it, I get 1 upon R cube, substitute value of R, that gives me negative 1 by 8, which is option B. So you have a plane which is xy, and the equation of line L is y is equal to 4x minus 1. Let's draw a equation, this y equal to 4x minus 1. So y equal to 4x minus 1 means if x is equal to 0, y equal to negative 1, if y equal to 0, x is equal to 1 by 4. So something like this. So this is the line y equal to 4x minus 1. If line M is the reflection of the line L, in the y-axis. What is the equation of line M? Now there is another line which is the reflection of the y-axis, in the y-axis. So what will be the reflection? Reflection will be like, consider this y-axis as a mirror. So new line will be like this. Reflection of this here and reflection of this lower part, this. So this line is small m. This line is small m. Now this point was 0, 1 by 4. So therefore, by the symmetry, this will be, this point was 1 by 4, 0, 1 by 4, comma 0. So this will be negative 1 by 4, comma 0, because it's a reflection, correct? Negative 1 by 4, 0. Now this point was what? This point was 0, comma negative 1. Okay, this point was 0, comma negative 1. So it will remain as 0, negative 1 only. So what will be the equation of the line? Now as you know that my line is y is equal to mx plus c, where c is the y-intercept. Now y-intercept is negative 1, so this will be equal to mx minus 1. If you see the option, this b or d is just not possible. Similarly, e is also not possible. So only option available is a or c, because the y-intercept in both a and c is negative 1. So I have to choose an option between a and c only, right? Now because you see that b, d question doesn't arise. So sometimes when you eliminate some of the options, then it's quite simple to find the answer. Now y equal to mx plus c, and therefore it's mx minus 1, because my y-intercept is negative 1. Let's find out the m also. So m is actually will be equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1 will give you minus 1 minus 0, that's minus 1, divided by x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. So 0 minus minus 1 by 4, so that's 1 by 4. So this will be m is equal to negative 4, and therefore y will be equal to minus 4x minus 1. So out of these two options, a and c, option c is correct, because it gives me y equal to minus 4x minus 1. Let me again explain it further, that the equation of the line is y equal to 4x minus 1, which passes through 0, comma negative 1 and 1 by 4, comma 0. Now this on the x-axis, this on the y-axis. Now the reflection of this line on the y-axis is something like this, that this line will become a part of this, and then the lower one is this one. Now this is a new line m. Now what are the respective points? The respective point is that this will be negative 1 by 4, 0. It's in this quadrant, in this quadrant, and this point is unchanged, so 0, negative 1, and therefore c is negative 1, and therefore option you have to choose out of the option a and c only. Your rest of the options b, d and e, your y-intercept itself is given different, is other than negative 1. After that you find out m by using y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. That is, m is equal to negative 4, and therefore m is equal to negative 4x minus 1, which is option number C. So in 2005, Toby weighed 120 pounds. In 2006, he weighed 140 pounds. Today's weight is 2006 was what percent greater than his weight in 2005? Toby's weight. So in 2005, Toby's weight was 120. So let's say 2005 weight is 120. And then 2006 weight is 140 pounds. Toby's weight in 2006 was what percent greater than his weight in 2005? So in 2006, what is the difference of the weights is 20 pounds. 20 pounds. Correct. Now, so what will be the total increase in the weight? Okay, increase in the weight. That will be actually 20 divided by 120, that is 2005 weight, into 100. Into 100. So 0 you can cancel, so it will be 6. Then 3. So it's a 50 by 3. Answer is 50 by 3. Okay, percent. Now 50 by 3 can be written as 16 2 by 3%. And therefore option A is correct. Therefore option A is correct. Here you can see that the question is asking Toby's weight was what percent greater than his weight. Greater means you have to take the difference between 2006 and 2005, which is 20 pounds. And that's how you get the percentage of this 20 with the 2005 weight. And that gives me 16 by 3%. A cube has a length equal to 2 pi. So let's consider a cube with length is given as 2 pi. If the volume of the cube is equal to the volume of a cylinder with radius 4 pi, now you have another volume of a cylinder with the radius 4 pi. So radius here is 4 pi. Right? What is the height of the cylinder? So you have to find the height. What is given is that volume of cylinder, volume of the cube is equal to volume of cylinder. So what is the volume of cube? That is 2 pi length into breadth into height. That is 2 pi into 2 pi into 2 pi, or 2 pi whole cube, which is equal to pi r square h. That is the volume of a cylinder. So that is pi into r square is 4 pi into 4 pi into h. Okay. So pi cube you can cancel with pi cube, and so my equation is 16h is equal to 8. 16h is equal to 8, and therefore h will be equal to 8 by 16, right? And that gives me 1 by 2, which is 0.50. 8 by 16, which is 0.50. So option B is correct. Here you see, one should realize this, that the volume of the cube is equal to the volume of cylinder, and cylinder is radius is different from the length of the cube. So here it is 4 pi, right? And the volume of the cylinder is pi r square h. Volume of the cube is 2 pi whole cube. If you take the volumes of both this cube as well as cylinder equal, 16h will be equal to 8, and therefore h will be equal to 8 by 16, which gives me 0.50, and therefore option B is correct. Yeah, so now you have to find, this is given as q into r minus 1 minus p is equal to p minus 4, and we have to find r in terms of q and p. So everything should be on the right hand side other than r. I can write in these steps that q into r minus 1, p if you take to that side, it will give me 2p minus 4, and therefore r minus 1 will be equal to 2p minus 4 divided by q, and therefore r will be equal to 2p minus 4 divided by q plus 1. Now take q as LCM, and it will be 2p. So r will be equal to 2p plus q minus 4 divided by q. 2p plus q minus 4 divided by q, and that's option B. That's option B. So the So the value of R, or the value of the R in terms of P and Q means you take other variable on the right hand side and take R on the left hand side only, and then find out the value of R. Now here they have given this thing that fx is 2x plus 2, gx, so there are two lines actually. One is fx is root 2x plus 2, gx is minus 2x plus 6. So y is less than fx and gx, y is less than fx and gx for x less than 3. Now if fx is this, gx is this, it's already given. Which of the following points does not lie within the shaded region? Which of the points does not lie within the shaded region, that is this region? So you see, if we check these points and find which one is actually outside this region. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So A is 0.50, A point is 0.50 and 1.5, that is x is 0.50 and y is 1.5, correct? If I substitute it here, then what it gives me, that fx, okay, so 1.5 left hand side and right hand side is 2 into 0.50, which is 1 plus 2, 3, and because 1.5 is less than 3, so it's okay. Now similarly here, y is 1.5 and then right hand side is minus 2.2x, that is minus 1 and plus 6, so 5. So 1.5 is less than 5, which is again correct. Therefore, you can say that this point lies within this shaded region. So likewise, if you take the second one, B, that also you can verify is well within this region. Let's take C, where x is 1.75, y is 3. So if I take fx as 3 and x as 1.75, 1.75 will give me 1.75 into 2 is 3.5 plus 2, 5.5. That's okay, less than 5.5. Now gx, if I take 1.75 and then 3, so minus 6 plus 6, 0. Now here there is a problem, because 1.75 is not less than 0, not less than 0, in fact it is greater than 0, and therefore point C is outside this shaded region. Now one can verify other points also, like D and E also. You will find that both fx and gx are basically satisfied. However, once you got the answer C, which is satisfying the condition, both the condition fx as well as gx, so you can stop here and say that the C is your answer. C is the option which is correct. As a matter of fact, you have to verify each point individually to see whether it's both the equation, that is fx and gx. If you substitute in place of fx and gx as second coordinate, which is y, and substitute in place of x first coordinate, which is like 0.50, 0.75, 1.75, etc. Both the inequalities are satisfied. So a bag of candies, it should have between 56 and 64 pieces, 56 to 64 pieces of candies, otherwise it will not be so. Now, which inequality represents all possible values of x, the number of pieces of candy in a certain bag that will be sold? Now what we want is that if you have x number of candies in the bag, so what should be the condition which should be satisfied? That is, x should always be greater than 56 and less than 64. Okay, x should be greater than 56 and less than 64. Now if I subtract 60, okay, if I subtract 60, it will be throughout in all the three. So 56 minus 60 will give me minus 4, less than x minus 60, less than 4. So x minus 60 is less than 4, x minus 60 is greater than negative 4, which is actually, in terms of mod, I can say that mod of x minus 60 should be less than 4. So in terms of modulus, modulus of x minus 60 should be less than 4, which is the inequality C, and therefore C is correct. Now here why I have subtracted 60 from all the three parts, that is this and this, because all the 5 options you have something to do with the 60. So that's how we have subtracted 60 from each of these parts, that is first this one and this. Sum of 21 consecutive integers is 21. What is the median of this set of consecutive integers? Now, what's the median? Median is basically the middle value. So these are 21 consecutive integers. Sum is 21. Okay, sum is 21. Now, sum is 21 means what? Now, if I take integer n, and then next integer will be n plus 1, and then so on and so forth. So last one will be n plus 20, right? N plus 20. So what is the sum of these 21 consecutive integers, right? What is the sum of these consecutive integers? Now sum will be 21 divided by 2 into 2n plus 20 into 1. That is the sum of these 21 consecutive integers. So if I do it, like divide by 2, it will give me n plus 10 into 21. This is equal to 21. This is equal to 21. Okay. So n plus 10 into 21. Sum is 21. So n is what? N is equal to negative 9. Okay. So now I know what are these numbers. So these numbers are negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, so on and so forth. And then finally you have 11. These are the numbers. So what is the middle value? Middle value is 21 plus 1 divided by 2. Which gives me 11. So what is the 11th number? So 11th number in this sequence will be minus 9 plus 10d. 10d is 1. So that is equal to 1. Here I have used the formula that an of a arithmetic sequence or arithmetic progression is a plus n minus 1 into d. That's a formula for finding the nth number of a arithmetic sequence. A is the first one, n is the number, and d is the common difference. So here common difference is 1, and I have to find 11th number. So 11th, so n is 11 and d is 1. So substituting this is equal to 1, and therefore my median is 1, which is option C. So next, if x upon 7 plus 7x is equal to 2 upon 7 plus 14, what is the possible value of x? So first of all, left hand side you can take LCM 7. So it will be 50x upon 7 is equal to 100 by 7, right? 7 into 14 is 98 plus 200, 100 by 7. 7 you can cancel the 7, so x should be equal to 2, and that is option C. So option C is correct. Now here the variables I have taken together. So x upon 7 plus 7x, that gives me 50x by 7, and this is equal to 100 by 7, and therefore x is equal to 2. Now here is a right angle triangle where this angle is 90 degree and A is 4, A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 4 root 3. What is C? Now one can use Pythagoras theorem to find C, because C square will be equal to A square, which is 16, plus 4 root 3 square, which is 48, and therefore C square will be equal to 64, and therefore C will be equal to 8. So C is equal to 8 by using Pythagoras sum, because it's a right angle triangle, and this square plus this square is equal to hypotenuse square, and C is equal to 8. So option D is correct. If a number is prime, it is odd. Which of the following numbers can be used to show that the above statement is false? So B. In fact, straight away, this 2 is a prime number. In fact, 2 is the only even prime. So because 2 is a prime number, and therefore this statement is wrong. Because if a number is prime, it is odd. In order to produce a counter example, you have to give an example which is a prime as well as even. And that's the only prime which is even, 2. And therefore, to show that the statement is false, say that the prime number is 2, which is an even. So statement is wrong. Now ABCD is a square, and inside that square, this circle is tangent to the square at points E and F. E and F. The area of the square is 64. What is the area of the circle? So area of the square is 64. What is the area of the square? Side square, which is equal to 64. That means x is equal to 8. So this is 8. That means this is equal to 8, right? And that gives me actually diameter of the circle is 8. So when the diameter of circle is 8, what is the radius of the circle? So radius of the circle is equal to 4, radius of the given circle, and the area of the circle is pi into r square. Pi into r square means pi into 4 square, which is equal to 16 pi. So by using the property that the area of the square is side into side, which is x square, they have given it as 64. X is 8. Once x is 8, because this is a tangent, okay, this you have a tangent at E and F, therefore if you join these 2 points, this will be a diameter, and therefore this 8 is a diameter, radius is 4, and the area of the circle is pi r square, which is pi into 4 square, which is equal to 16 pi, and therefore option C is correct option. Now these are actually 6-sided cubes. Okay, 6-sided cube, and Johnny has rolled 2 cubes simultaneously. What is the probability that the sum of the numbers rolled is 10 or greater? So sum is 10 or greater. Now the best way for doing this kind of a question is that you can prepare a grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the numbers on the 6-sided cube, and here also another cube is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what is the sum? So here it will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In all, there are 36 numbers. So sum of the number rolled is 10 or greater. 10 or greater means this portion. Okay, that is 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. So 6 numbers are greater than 10. So what is the probability? 6 upon 36. Okay, 6 are the numbers which are greater than 10, and 36 is the total number, this grid is giving you. So answer is 1/6. 1/6 means option C is correct. Now here, to make this grid and writing all the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 both sides and then adding it, that can give you answer of any question, like whether it's greater than 10 or greater than 7 or greater than 8. So if suppose the question is greater than 7, what you do is you take this portion, entire portion, this one. So it depends on the question to question. One can always draw this grid, and then all these values will be towards right hand side. If the question is by chance less than this, then take the left portion. So in this particular specific question, answer is 1 by 6. X is directly proportional to y square. Now x is directly proportional to y square gives me an equation which is x equal to k into y square. Okay, when x is directly proportional to y square, that gives me an equation x equal to ky square. Now ky square means one value they have given, x equal to 3, then y equal to 4. So I can write 3 is equal to k into y square, which is 5 square, that is 25. Straight away I can get k, which is 3 by 25. 3 by 25. So my equation, which is actually was this, is now x is equal to 3y square divided by 25. Right? Let's come to the last part. What is the value of x when y is equal to 10? So if I substitute y equal to 10, what will be x? X will be 10 square, that is 100. 100 into 3 is 300. So 300 divided by 25, which is equal to 12. So option E is correct. Now one thing which is very important, because x is directly proportional to y square, so I can always write x equal to ky square. Now in this process, one has to find k if you want to find x for a specific value of y, or even otherwise also if you want to find y and x is given, then also ultimately k is required. And when k is required, the condition which he has given, that is if x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5, you have to utilize that condition to get the value of k. And that's how we got this x is equal to 3y square divided by 25. After that, you can find, for a particular value of y, you can find x, or a particular value of x, you can find y. In this case, in this particular case, they want that what is x when y is 10, and therefore x will be 12. Now, a car travels m miles in 2 hours. In terms of M&D, what is the amount of time it will take car A to drive D miles? So, car is driving m miles in 2 hours. So 1 mile will be covered in 2 upon m hours. 1 mile will be covered in 2 upon m hours. So D miles will be covered in 2 upon m, that's time, into distance, that is d. So it is 2d by n. 2d by n. That's B option is correct. Now here, important is that the relationship between time and distance. Time and distance. Right? So when car travels m miles in 2 hours, so in 1 mile is covered in 2 by m hours. Okay, and d miles is covered in 2 by m into d, which is 2d by n. So here you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, etc. This is a number line. Divided by coordinates of point D. Alright. which letter D? Which letter? Coordinate of point A is divided by the coordinate of point D. Coordinate of point A is divided by coordinate of point D, right? Which letter point could represent a quotient? Okay. Now here you see that what is the approximate value of A? What is the approximate value of A? So A is around negative 2.2 or something. Okay. This side, left hand side. What about point D? Point D is on the right hand side. So maybe, if I approximate it, it may be something like negative 0.8 because it's on the right hand side. On the right hand side. So somewhere between negative 1 and 0. Okay. Negative 1 and 0. Now, if I cancel this, just I am taking the approximate value. So that will give me 11 by 4. Okay, 11 by 4, which is actually 2 point something. Okay, 2 point something. Now this 2 point something means all these all these alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. They are less than 2. Only H is the one which is greater than 2. And I want something like 11 by 4. Maybe some approximation because we have done. So it's like 2 point something, and the answer is H. Answer is H. See here, what you have to do is you have to take some approximate value and see whether you get 2 options or 1 option. If there's only 1 option, then like in this particular question, H is okay. Otherwise, you have to be slightly more accurate. So I have taken the value, for example, minus 2.2, maybe to minus 2.1 is a D, so it may be maybe minus 0.9 or minus 0.8, whatever it is. So H is the only point which is very near to my approximation, which is about 2 point something. So that's the option. That's correct option. Now A plus 2B is equal to 10 and B is equal to A plus 2. So what is the value of A? Now what you can do is you can substitute value of B from this one to this one. My A plus 2B was 10. So let's take B to be A plus 2. B to be A plus 2. So this is equal to 10. Now what is the advantage? Advantage is that this particular equation now is a equation of one variable only. And let's see. So 2A plus A is 3A plus 4. Let's take 4 to the right hand side. That gives me 10 minus 4, that is 6. So A should be equal to 2. A should be equal to 2. Here I have utilized the substitution. B is equal to A plus 2. So I have substituted the value of B here so that I get only one variable, that is A. And that's what is required also. So A plus 2 into A plus 2 is equal to 10. A plus 2A plus 4. A plus 2A gives me 3A. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 into 2 is 4. And if you take 4 to the right hand side, that gives 6. And so A is equal to 2. So A is equal to 2 is the option. Now Monday, Cal's Coffee sold 500 cups. On Tuesday, it's increased by 40%. How many cups coffee was sold on Tuesday? So if you take 40% of 500, what it will be? So it will be actually 500 into 40 divided by 100. That is the increase, right? So 0 you can cancel here. So it is 200. Now 200 cups of coffee increased. So what was the total sale? On Monday it was 500, and 200 increase means 500 plus 200. So on Tuesday total coffee cups were actually 500 plus 200. That gives me 700. So 700 is the answer, right? Here, you have to see the word increased by. So what is the value of x? This length DC is 12, this length B is 3, this A is 1, and this ED is x. Now, these two are 90 degrees, right? So therefore, you can show that these two triangles are similar. ABE, that is smaller one, and ACD are similar, because this E angle and D angle is 90 degree. So when two are similar, in that case, the ratio of the respective side should be equal. So this bigger triangle is 12, the smaller triangle is B3, should be equal to bigger triangle is 1 plus x, and then divided by smaller triangle is 1. Correct? So I have taken the ratio of DC to BE and AD to AE. So this is smaller triangle is because similar to the bigger triangle, and therefore 1 plus x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3. I have used the fact that when two triangles are similar, then the ratio of their sides are equal. So that's a theorem, and using this theorem, we can say that CD upon B is equal to AD upon AE. AD is x plus 1, and therefore x is equal to 3. Now, sum of 4 consecutive odd integers is 56. What is the value of the greatest of these integers? Now, these are odd integers. So, odd integers means, each one is with a gap of 2. So, first is x, then x plus 2, then x plus 4, and then x plus 6. Sum of these 4 is 56. So, let's see what is the sum. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, 4x plus 12 is equal to 56. So what is 4x? So in these questions, once you have formed an equation, and then once you form the equation like this, then find out the value of x. So 4x is equal to 44. Correct? 44. So x is equal to 11. X is equal to 11. But he is asking what is the value of the greatest of these. What is the value of the greatest? Whereas x is 11. So greatest is which one? This one. And if I add 6 here in the 11, my answer is 17. So what is the value of the greatest of these integers is 17. And why I have taken a gap of 2? Because the question says that sum of 4 consecutive odd integers. Okay. And therefore you have to take with a gap 2. If it's 4 consecutive integers, then it's a gap of 1, that is x, x plus 1, x plus 2, and x plus 3. Now, this is a graph of fx. If gx is equal to 1 minus fx whole square, what is the value of g2? Now, what is the value of g2? This is fx actually. So, g2 will be equal to 1 minus f2 whole square. f2 you can find from the graph. So, f2 means this point and this point of the graph. This point is somewhere like 3. This point is 3. So, if this point is 3, then f2 is 3, and therefore it is 1 minus 3 whole square minus 2 square, that is 4. So g2 is 4. With the help of this graph fx, I can find the value of f2. Once I find the value of f2, I can substitute in this particular expression, and G2 gives me 4. In how many ways can the letters of the word stage be rearranged? So these are 5-letter words, and therefore you have, let's say, make 5 boxes. There are other ways also of solving the same question, but the simplest one is, now this is, let's assume that, words are not repeated, okay, because you have to use letters of this word only. So here, what is the possibility? Possibility is that you can use 5 alphabets out of these stage. Now once you have used one of the alphabet out of the 5, here you have only 4 options. Likewise, here you have only 3, here you have 2, and then last option is only option 1. So if you multiply by the theorem of the probability, like that is number of possibilities is, multiplication, then 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is 2 into 3 is 6, 6 into 4 is 24, 24 is 5, into 5 is 120. So 120 ways this letter of this word are rearranged. You see that you cannot use a particular alphabet or the letter twice or more than once, because you have to use the same word STAG and the letters of the same word. Once you have used S, that's gone. That's how the number of ways is 120. Now here AB is given as BC. So AB is equal to BC. Angle B is 50 degree. This angle is 50 degree. And measure of angle BGE is 40. BGE. This angle is 40 degree. What is the value of x plus y? This is x, this is y. So what is the value of x plus y? Here they have given that AB is equal to BC. AB is equal to BC. So if AB is equal to BC, then this angle should be equal to this angle. Because reason is that if two sides of a triangle are equal, then the angles opposite to those sides are also equal. So what is the sum of these two angles? 130 degree. So each angle is 65 degree. 65 degree. Correct? Now, this is 65 degree, and this angle is given as 40 degree. So if this is equal to 40 and what about this angle? Because this is a straight line, so this will become 140 degree, as well as this is also 140 degree. In fact, this will be 40 degree. Okay, 40 degree. So if this is 40, this is 60, then this will be 80 degree. This will be 80 degree. So like using the properties of the triangle and all, one can find that C is 60, this is 40, so this has to be 80. That is, my angle EDF is equal to 80 degree. EDF is equal to 80 degree. And the sum of other two angles will therefore be x plus y. Because you see this sum, this plus this is 180. Out of this, D is 80. So x plus y is 180 minus 80 degree. 180 minus 80 degree, which is actually 100 degree. So x plus y is 100. So this angle is given as 50, and this is 40, so this is also 40, 65, 65, 65, sorry, this is 65, this is 40, so 105 means this should be 75, not 80, this is 75 degree, okay. 65 plus 40 is 105, 180 minus 105 is 75, so what is x plus y? X plus y is 180 minus 75, which will be equal to 105 degree. 105 degree. So let's see that because sides AB and BC are equal, therefore angle opposite to those sides will also be equal. And because the angle B is 50 degrees, so remaining angle total should be 130 and each angle should be 65 degree. Now the angle which is given here is 40 degree. This is 65 degree. So this has to be 40 degree. So 65 plus 40 is 105. Remaining is 75 degree. Now when this is 75 degree, sum of x plus y is 180 minus 75, which is 105 degree, not 100. So 105 degree is the correct answer. 105 degree is the correct answer. Now here they have defined a operation which is actually 1 minus a minus b upon 1 plus a plus b. So what is the value of 2a3? So let's find out one by one. First let's find out 2a3. After getting that value, we'll again find the value of this expression. So let's first find out what is 2a of this 3, where the definition is this. So according to a definition, it will be 1 minus 2 minus 3 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is actually minus 4 upon 6, which is minus 2 by 3. Minus 2 by 3. Now let's find out the other one, which is minus 2 by 3 inside the bracket, and then you have 1. So again, we'll be using the same definition. And if you use the same definition here, it will be 1 plus 2 by 3 minus 1 divided by 1 minus 2 by 3 plus 1. I have used this sign as negative. Okay, so 1 got cancelled with 1. And then this is actually will be 2 by 3 divided by 2 minus 2 by 3. Okay, that is 4 by 3. Okay, and that gives me 2 by 4 or 1 by 2. 1 by 2 or maybe 0.5, you can say this also. So 0.5. Here you see a new operation is defined, which is actually a, that will be 1 minus a minus b upon 1 plus a plus b. So whenever I have a and b, a on the left hand side, b on the right hand side of this particular operation, I have to use this definition. First I have opened the bracket part, that is 2, and then this operation 3, which is equal to 1 minus 2 minus 3 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is negative 4 upon 6 and minus 2 by 3. Now I have to take negative 2 by 3, this operation with 1, that gives me, again using the same operation, that is 1 plus 2 by 3 minus 1 divided by 1 minus 2 by 3 plus 1, and that is, by solving it, it will be 0.5 or 1 by 2. Now let's see what is the equation. Graph of y is equal to minus x cube plus 2x square. So graph of y is equal to minus x cube plus 2x square, that intersects line L at the point 2 comma m and negative 1 comma n. What is the y-intercept of line L? So there is some other line L. The graph of y equal to minus x cube intersect the line L at the point 2 comma n and minus 1 comma n. Let's see what this, what is the graph, of this particular thing. So 2 minus x, correct? If I take x squared, it will be 2 minus x. So the graph will be cutting here at 2 and here at 0, and because this is negative x cube, so the graph will be something like this, approximately. Graph will be like this, correct? Reason is that this is actually negative 2, this 2, no, not this. In fact, the graph will be something like this, not this one, because it is intersecting at 2 and 0. So let me draw it here. This is 0, this is 2. So the graph will be like this. Okay, this point is 2, 2, 0, and this point is 0, 0. Okay, so the graph is like this. Now it intersects the line L at the point 2, m and minus 1, n. So there is some line. It is cutting the line at 2, m and minus 1, n. Okay, so what will be m? M will be equal to, if I substitute x here as negative 2, so it will become minus 8, and in fact it will be 0. M will be 0, and when I substitute minus 1, n, it will be, n will be equal to minus 1. So it will be minus 1 means 1 plus 2, that is 3. So m is 0, n is 3. M is 0, n is 3. These are 2 points, that is at the point L. Let's see what is the equation of this particular line. Okay, so y will be capital Mx plus, let's say, c. This point 0 and 3, correct? 0 and 3, 2, 0 and minus 1, 3 are the points which are on this line. 2, 0 and 2, 0 and minus 1, 3. Let's see, 2, 0 and minus 1, 3. Okay, if I substitute 2, 0, what will be, I have to ultimately find m and c, especially c. Okay, especially c. So if I substitute 2, 0, what will I get? 0 is equal to 2m plus c. If I substitute minus 1, 3, I'll get 3 is equal to minus m plus c. If I subtract it, m is equal to minus 1. If m is equal to minus 1, c is equal to 2. So c is equal to 2 gives me a point of intercept, y-intercept, which is 2. So my answer is 2. Okay, let me explain you once again that the graph of this line, the graph of this particular curve, which is actually this one, intersect the line L at the point 2, m and minus 1, n. What is the y-intercept of this line? Y-intercept means I have to, if my equation of the line is y equal to mx plus c, I have to find the value of c. Now, because it intersects L at the point 2, m, so it will satisfy 2, m. I mean, if I substitute 2, m in the given equation of the graph, it will satisfy it. If I substitute 2, m, I get the equation 2m plus c is equal to 0. In fact, before that, I will get the value of m as 0 and 3. Substituting this here, I'll get 2m plus c as 0. And what about the second one? Second one will be minus m plus c is equal to 3. Subtracting this from the second equation from the first, I'll get 3m is equal to minus 3. M is equal to negative 1. If I substitute negative 1 in the first equation, I'll get c as 2. What is c? C is the y-intercept. So answer is that y-intercept is 2. Now, what is the speed of the train? Okay, so Tom takes the train to work, and the speed 50 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour is the speed. Now, and the local train travels 40 miles per hour. So 40 miles per hour is the speed of the local train. If Tom takes the express train to work and the local train home and travels for a total of 54 minutes, what is the distance it travels to work in miles? So from home to work, suppose distance is x, correct? X miles, and then so he is going from home to work x miles using 50 miles per hour. So if it is going 50 miles per hour, that means in 1 mile he is covering in 1 by 50 hours. So x miles he will be covering in x by 50 hours. So that is x by 50 plus likewise 40 miles per hour is going back. So that is again using the same logic, he is taking x by 40 hours. This total is 54 minutes. So 54 is the total minutes, right? 54 minutes. Let's see in terms of minutes, in terms of hours, its minutes can be converted as 54 by 60. So what is the total? So I can write down like this, that 200 is the LCM. So 4 plus 5, 9x by 200 is equal to 54 by 60. Okay, so 0 you can cancel, and then 9 6 so x will be equal to 6 also can cancel, so x is equal to 20 miles. So what is the answer? 20 miles. Let me explain it once more. He is going from home to work, work to home. X miles, the distance is same, but x miles is covering by 50 miles per hour train, and then when he's coming back, then he's covering by the local train, which is 40 miles per hour. So 1 mile is actually 1 by 50 hour first time, that is using this particular train, and then x mile is x by 50. Likewise from the local also x by 40, and this total is 54 minutes. I have converted this for 54 minutes into hours, so that is 54 by 60. And if you add these two, it will be like 9x by 200, which is equal to 54 by 60. You can, a little bit of calculation gives you x equal to 20 miles. So that's the answer of this question.